The federal government has announced August the 21st as a day to swear in ministers designate. We will now analyze the pressure of the daunting responsibilities on the shoulders of the team the president has put together. And the PDP chairman, Uche Secondus, is asking the president to release all political prisoners in the country in the wake of the order to release Sheikh El-Zazaki. Hello everyone and welcome to the program this evening, 7 p.m. right here in Lagos, Nigeria, where Channels Television's headquarters is. I'm Sean Kimbale. It is the day after the Revolution Now protest in some parts of the country, and also the day after the court says Sheikh El-Zazaki could go home for medical treatment, himself and the wife. And the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Uche Secondus, has added his voice to the call for the release of all political prisoners, including the publisher of Sahara Reporters, Omoyele Sowore. The PDP national chairman is alleging that this is the first time that a democratically elected government is holding political prisoners and refusing to release them. Mr. Secondus describes the development as unfortunate and capable of disrupting the peace of the country. He was speaking to journalists in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, after a visit to the state governor.
Ask Mr. President Buhari, to release the political prisoners. It is not done in any political dispensation. What we are seeing today is as if we're in the military era. It should quickly and urgently release all political prisoners and allow a democratic atmosphere to strive in a country, and where everybody is guaranteed the freedom of speech.
Let's now check some other political stories we have for you. And when we come back, we look at President Buhari's cabinet that will be sworn in on the 24th, the daunting challenges and the task before them. How can they fix it? What do you make of this cabinet and this team that the president has put together? Can they take the country to the next level they promised? That's going to be after this political roundup.
Former military president General Ibrahim Babangida says the leadership of the country must remain resilient and determined in the face of divergent opinions about what is happening in the country. He describes Nigeria as a difficult and complex country where many opinions exist.
I used to say that for every opinion in Nigeria, you have as many opinions as there are a number of people in the country. So that's what Nigeria is a very vibrant society. For everything you do, somebody is there to say, no, you are right, or yes, you are wrong. You know, that's it.
The federal government is making a case for the proper inclusion of persons living with disabilities and internally displaced persons into the electoral process across the West African sub-region. Speaking at the 6th Biennial General Assembly of the ECOWAS Network of the Electoral Commission in Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, is asking the body to make effort and consolidate democracy in the region. The House of Representatives Committee on Steel Development is set to review all laws that regulate the steel sector to ensure vast contributions to the gross domestic product of the country. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Abdullahi Alams, states that the Nigerian iron and steel industry was established as a basis for industrialization, but has remained unproductive since its creation.
Tonight's proceedings begin from here in my chamber here, the Channel Television's political desk here. So it's about a week after the Senate screened and confirmed all the 43 ministerial nominees appointed by the president. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation says President Buhari will swear in the ministers on the 24th of August 2019. Mr. Boss Mustafa explained in a statement that the swearing-in ceremony will hold after an induction retreat which is scheduled for August 19th and 20th. According to him, all the ministers designate, the head of civil service of the Federation, and federal permanent secretaries are expected to attend the induction retreat. The swearing-in proper and allocation of portfolios will follow thereafter. Let me give you an idea of how this journey has become from our president who got a cabinet put together after 6 months in the first tenure or first term, and in the second term, let's take a look at how he fared, what he has done. Here at Channels Television, we created a timeline, a countdown for the president, looking at when he was sworn in and how fast he could put a cabinet together. Let's take a look at this. He was sworn in himself and his vice on the 29th of May 2019 for a second term in office. He could only announce the names of nominees for the ministerial nominees on the 23rd of July, and that's after 50 days that he was sworn in, compared to 6 months after he was sworn in the other time. On the 30th of July 2019, Senate confirmed all 43 nominees sent by the president after 5 days of screening. And today, the 6th of August 2019, after a week of the confirmation, the federal government announced the 21st of August for swearing in of ministers after they've gone through a process of retreat. So, the question is not only putting a team together. We've put that behind us. A big question now is the task of governing this country. Issues of economy, issues of security, issues of ethnic diversity, and several of the divergent opinions on how to take this nation forward. The president, don't forget, the promise is that they're going to take Nigeria to the next level. That's the promise. They're going to consolidate on what they did in 2015 and 2019. They got a second shot at governing this country. But can the team that he put together get the job done? Let's get these dissected. From the party that was defeated in 2015 and the one that gave the APC a run for their money in 2019 and the party in power. We look at it from that perspective and the way forward for this country. I have joining me from Abuja studio, my panel tonight, and Yemi Akinwumi is the Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, and I have side by side with him Mr. Aliyu Abdullah, a lawyer, and a member of the Buhari Media Organization. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. There's been a lot of criticism. If you look at it from the issues of security, from the issues of the rule of law. In fact, some people have said this government is as a penchant for disobeying the rule of law. But let me begin with you, Ed Akinwumi. Today, the president said he was swearing on the 21st of August, new cabinet, the cabinet that he set up. What is your view about this government? The cabinet that is put together. Is there any ray of hope from this team that will work for the government for another 4 years?
Well, thank you very much, Hugh. Let me take you up from the point of the promise of Mr. President that we take Nigeria to the next level. Mr. President has made many promises which failed. So any sensible Nigerian should not take his promise, whatever he says, as serious. We were all Nigeria here when he said that he will bring dollar to 1 naira before his first time in office. He said they will reduce the pump price of petrol to a minimal level. Rather, it increased. So don't let us worry ourselves about that. Now you're asking about the ministers. Whatever opinion I expressed tonight, this evening, is my own personal opinion. It is Prince Uche Secondus, our leader, that has right to express opinion about opinion of PDP. But if you ask me, I will tell you that there's nothing special, not absolutely special, in the minister that will be sworn in. Like I've said in the different fora, I will give the benefit of doubt to the new ones that are just coming on board. But the old ones that have been repeated, it is a colossal failure. Colossal failure. Because the 4 years they were in office, Nigeria could not quantify what they have achieved for this economy, for the security of the nation, for the development of, for the growth of the GDP and everything in Nigeria. Let me take some of them up for you. Let me start from my own kinsman, Fashola, a very sensitive minister, Minister of Power, Works and Housing. To start with, what has Fashola got to do with power and housing? A lawyer. Are you saying that you don't consider relevance before you give portfolio to people? You don't consider relevance? When I was Commissioner for Education in Ogun State, I read science education. I'm very relevant to the Minister of Education. And I proved it beyond reasonable doubt to people of Ogun State that I had a very grip of that discipline. When I'm on inspection, I'll get to the classroom, I'll go to the laboratory, I'll teach titration in chemistry for the students. I will teach diffusion and osmosis and diffusion to the students. I would discuss pedagogical aspect of education with the principals of schools. I will let them know that I know better. I will correct the lesson note of the teachers. But what has a lawyer got to do with works and power? I want to put it to you that before he left office, Fashola did not know the problem of power, talk less of solving it. Let me go into specific terms. From East-West Road in the southern part of this country, East-West Road was awarded by President Jonathan. And they started the road from the east. It got to the end of Ondo State, just before the boundary of Ondo State, Ogun State. Up to today, I'm talking to you, I'm in the studio talking to you. The road has not gotten to Ijebode, a distance of less than 30 kilometers. A man that was in power, works minister for 4 years, and could not continue the work of his predecessor to the point of achieving 25 kilometers within 4 years. Are you saying that one is competent to come back again?
Let me allow Mr.
Let me give another example.
Ali Abdullahi to come
Ibadan,
in here.
Lagos Ibadan Express Road is the busiest road in Nigeria.
All right. Let me allow Mr. Abdullahi to weigh in on this one.
It was awarded by President
Jonathan. Just a moment.
And it broke
just a moment. Edakinwami.
From Shagam to Lagos, you awarded to Julius Berger. From Shagam to Ibadan, you awarded it to RCC. And they have done a reasonable work before he left. Till today, the road is still there.
All right.
After 4 years.
Let's get the other opinion on what you have said. Mr. Abdullah, you are of the APC. You heard what Edakinwami has said. It doesn't look like he's happy with what is going on.
Yes, if he will actually...
Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Sharon, for having me. First, let me start with what he said. The promises he referred that the president made about bringing $1 to 1 naira. The president never made such promises. I was with him during the 2015 campaign time, and there were so many documents circulated by vendors. He never made such promises, and he repeated those documents and those promises even at Chatham House before even the election was held. So I know Elder Akinwumi knew that the president didn't make such promises, but for the purpose of opposition, I can understand where he's coming from. Now let's go back to the issue of the ministers. He said that he's disappointed, especially on the returnees. And he singled out one minister particularly, that's Fashola, and he's disappointed with Fashola. And I can tell you, excuse me, please, I didn't stop you when you were talking. Fashola, if you take an assessment, a poll, you know, among Nigerians, he is one of the few ministers that will come in, that will be returned with the highest number of polls because of the kind of performance what he has done under the last 4 years. He was not an engineer, but he was a lawyer. But do you really, at that kind of level, do you think a minister must actually be someone who actually read something that has to do with the ministry? No. A minister is someone who supervises and ensures that the agenda of the government is implemented. So once you have the pedigree of management, it's enough. And once you have gone through the 4 walls of school as a graduate, whether you be a medical doctor or a lawyer, as long as you have the managerial ability, and we're talking about someone who governed a complex state like Lagos State for good 8 years and left the state on a very good footnote, and you tell me that he cannot actually man a ministry because it is works or power? thank God that his antecedents and also the track record of the last 4 years has spoken for him.
All right.
And let's even talk about this respect
sorry,
of what
I'd like you to hold your thought for a moment. Sorry, Mr. Abdullah. I'd like you to hold your thought for a moment. We need to take our conventional break. But when we come back, we look at some of the other critical issues that is on the hands of Nigerians, especially the expectations for this government. We take a break. My panel is still now Abuja studio, and we get back into the conversation. How we can move this country forward, the political leadership, can it handle it? Join us again, everyone. Depending on who you're talking to, it's dark out there in Nigeria. But whatever you may be looking at it from, you might get different opinions as to how the sky looks or what you can read in the sky. So today, if you ask anyone, how does the Buhari government perform in the first 4 years, you might get divergent views on what you think. I mean, it might get really, really tough in the conversation when you now dig down to say, do you have hopes that they are going to perform better? Then you hear more about what Nigerians think about the Buhari government and the way forward. And that's what we're dissecting tonight on the program. There's going to be disagreement. A lot of people will see blue, some of that will see red. The PDP might be seen differently from what the APC is saying. A lot of hopes on the minds of the APC. And the PDP, all the opposition parties are not seeing anything that is better. So we're dissecting these issues. As a Nigerian, what do you think? Can the Buhari government perform on the promises they've made? My panel tonight, Elder Yemi Akinwumi, a deputy national chairman of the People's Democratic Party in our Abuja studio, and Mr. Ali Abdullah, a lawyer and a member of the Buhari Media Organization. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the program tonight. Mr. Abdullah, you have like a few seconds to just land on the thought before I ask Elder Akinwumi another question. He challenged the capacity of some of those who are in President Buhari's cabinet. If you guys land on that thought.
All right, let me just follow on Fashola, since he actually singled him out. I mean, when you talk about the infrastructure, the roads, for example, he mentioned one road that he said that there were no 30 kilometers that was work. Then I want to remind him he needs to go from Lagos to Ibadan and see the work that is going on. He needs to also go from Kaduna, from Abuja here to Kaduna to Kano. We need the diversions, the work that Julius Berger is embarking on. We need so many roads between Edo State, Kogi State, and some part of from Enugu to Port Harcourt, which covers the 5 southeastern states, that all work has been ongoing since the last 4 years. From Kano to Maiduguri is almost completed as we're talking. From Gombe to Adamawa, which has never been worked on. Even when they had a vice president who came from that place, there was never work on that road. But it's been completed under the guidance and leadership of Fashola in the last 4 years. When you talk about the power, how much megawatts did this administration actually inherited from the administration of PDP? Not more than 2,500 megawatts was actually inherited at May 29, 2015. But right now, we have the capacity. We are generating about 7,000 megawatts. We are distributing about 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts. And you said this man is a lawyer and he doesn't know what he's doing, that he's not fit to be returned as a minister. If that is the score line of the PDP's assessment of a performance of a minister, I wonder what then could they use as a yardstick to their ministers. Ministers in PDP who looted this country dry. We are hearing of revelations of how ministers under his party looted the country dry. The kind of money that is being recovered is so outrageous, and yet nothing to show in terms of infrastructure on the ground. And they earned so much money. In those 16 years, they were selling crude oil more than $100 per barrel. In the last 16 years, they held power, and there was no concurrent development on the ground in terms of infrastructure or social welfare to the people. Right. And yet,
Mr. Abdullah, let's again let's balance the weight now. Let's allow Akinwumi to come in here. What we're looking as, first and foremost, we are Nigerians, and probably our party affiliations or our leanings were coming. From what your heart is telling you, from the programs this government says they have, what are your hopes?
Shion, thank you very much. Let me correct one very erroneous impression here. I am not particularly by Fashola. I wanted to give my own x-ray of most of the ministers I can assess. It's only unfortunately I started with Fashola. And I want to tell the whole world that, okay, you are talking of power. The concern of an average Nigerian is for them to switch off lights and see light on. Apart from Abuja, where else in Nigeria do you see light regular? It is absolutely nothing. Don't let us be economical with truth. Don't let us be economical with truth. The road I mentioned, I said, from Ibadan to Lagos is the most busiest road today, but not much has been done. If I don't know Kano, if I don't know Kaduna, I know Ibadan Lagos Expressway very well because I'm from the southern part of this country. I'm even from southwest Nigeria. Then again, I was to take up agriculture. The best minister of agriculture we ever had in Nigeria was Adesina Akiwumi. During Akiwumi, the peasant farmers were able to get fertilizers as at when due and at regular supply through their telephones. The federal government was able to register all the peasant farmers across the length and breadth of Nigeria, and then the text messages to them that your fertilizer bags are ready, collect it at the social designated places. Today, has Baba Audu built upon that? No, we are back to the old days that the Kabas have hijacked the whole thing. Fertilizer, I'm a farmer myself, it's not available now. And we're able to get it, it is at a very exorbitant prices. It is difficult for you to get. If people like myself, my own position in the society cannot get it, what do we say of a peasant farmer in the village? What do you say of a peasant farmer? But during Adesina, a peasant farmer in the village will know that his own fertilizer is here. This is what we are talking of. We are not particular about individual. We want Nigeria to move forward.
All right, Ed Akinwumi, because we need to close. Sorry,
so,
let me.
I'm not particularly happy with the old ministers coming back, but I'll give benefit of doubt to the incoming ones because we don't know what they can do.
All right. Let me allow Mr. Abdullahi to also respond because we need to go now. Mr. Abdullahi, your response.
Over 20 million people in Nigeria. We have competent people that can manage better.
It's my turn to talk, sir. So let me respond. Let me respond to some of the things he said. For example, the fertilizer. I'm a farmer myself, and I'm telling you, this administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has cut down the price of fertilizer by half. And while, let me tell him, before I became a farmer, I used to work actually in an agency in Lagos, in the ports, actually, the MASA, Nigerian Merchant and Safety Agency. And I knew how the cartel of fertilizer we used to import urea, you know it, you will bag it in Tinkan Island and they move it. And at what cost were the farmers getting the fertilizers during the PDP regime? That is the problem. Now, under this administration, more than 12 fertilizing plants were revived. We no longer import that kind of fertilizer into this country. We are producing it here in the country, and the prices of fertilizer is cut down by half. So what is Elder Akinwumi say that he's not getting fertilizer? I don't know where he lives and how comes he's not getting that fertilizer. Now back to the issue of the ministers. I think we have a fantastic cabinet, and like he said, there are newcomers. I think they will come with new energy. Most of them are young and vibrant, and I think we will see a blend with the experienced ones, the returnees, and also the ones that are coming with fresh ideas, and hopefully, and I believe so, that they will take us to the next level.
All right, we need to go now. I wish I had opportunity to come back to Ed Akinwumi to get his final word, but I'm being told that we are obviously out of time. But I must sincerely thank you for the conversation on some of the issues, the hopes and aspirations for the Buhari cabinet. We hope that some of the promises made are going to be fulfilled. Well, it's that moment where the gavel is dropped and the eyes have it. I will always say, well, whatever you do, be on the side of the people, the popular side. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.